just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. In this bulletin, 7 try show secures Fiji's first win as it bows out of the Rugby World Cup. Sodelpa nominates Ratuepeli Nganilao for president. And Daniel Urai and Jagat Karunaratne discharged from court. The Vodafone Flying Fijians bowed out of the 2015 Rugby World Cup with a 47-15 win over Uruguay this morning. As expected, it was a walkover for Fiji, but the side had to endure some physical yet entertaining rugby from the South Americans. Chalin Dalvakadaka reports.
The reports and updates of the Rugby World Cup is proudly presented by Vodafone, Power to You, and Airports Fiji Limited, creating new experiences, Fiji's gateway to the world. In association with FMF, the right choice. Total Exilium New Generation, the fuel that cleans your engine kilometer after kilometer. Sun Insurance, for Fijians by Fijians. Supported by Fiji Airways, Deluxe, Island Chill, Comfort Home Furnishing, Rooster Chicken, Legal Aid, Land Transport Authority, and Central Rentals.
Space out here, Nakarawa, and there's the try.
Fiji was awarded a penalty try in the 3rd minute against Uruguay after this illegal tackle prevented centre Lepanin Botia from scoring a try, and Uruguay had a man sent to the Sindin. Nemia Kenatale made use of the extra man by dotting down in the corner. Fiji then flexed his muscle in the scrum, with this one ending in a second penalty try. It was one-way traffic from then on, as Fiji displayed the flamboyance missing from the opening 3 games.
Onside.
Koroi. Botia like a high hurdler. Another breakout here for Ngira. This is Dominico. Fiji for Buri Malu. Seniwoli. Nadolo. He was all over it before half-time.
Coach John McKee was proud of his players' effort throughout the tournament.
It was really important for us tonight to have a good win tonight. Although it's some consolation, it's important for the group to finish on a positive note. It's also important for our fans, the fans back home, and also, all the Fijians all around the world who have shown so much support for our team all the way through the tournament, that it really gives a clear sign to them of what the team can do.
Against a fantastic South American opponent.
The Flying Fijians will return to the country on Friday morning. Silent Odakavaka, FBC Sports.
The Social Democratic Liberal Party today discussed possibilities for their nomination for president of Fiji. FBC News understands the party caucus has endorsed Ratuepeli Nganilao, who meets the qualifications for appointment to the office of the president under the 2013 Constitution. Maggie Boyle with this story.
Sodelpa President Ratunangama Lalambalavu traditionally received nominations from senior members of the party. The suggestions included Tui Maruata, Ratuase Kotanivere, and Ro Ipeli Mataitini. However, FBC News understands that discussions in the party caucus and consultations with a number of high chiefs have led to the endorsement of Ratuepeli Nganilao of the Tovata Confederacy, who qualifies under Section 83 of the Constitution. Sodelpa leader Rotebu Mukepa was scheduled to announce the nomination this afternoon. However, when FBC News arrived at the office in Parliament, we were told we weren't allowed in, despite being informed earlier by the opposition whip Ratueso Tikoda about the press conference. FBC approached Sodelpa's General Secretary, Pio Tambowalu, whose only comment was that he could not comment on behalf of the party leader. This despite a statement by SODELPA emailed this afternoon clarifying that in order to protect the party's integrity and to ensure general ethics of professionalism is maintained, the SODELPA Management Board has decided that effective immediately, media statements made on behalf of the party will only be made by the party president, party leader and the General Secretary. Parliament will next week on Monday hold a special sitting to elect a new president. The outgoing President Rato Epeli Nailatikau's term expires next month. He has served since 2009. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The employment of 2 senior managers with the Fiji Revenue Customs Authority have been terminated. Devita Tupo, who was General Manager for Customs, and Josefa Marawa, who was Manager Border Control, were terminated yesterday. FIRCA Board Chair Ajit Korogora says Tupo had sent an email to FIRCA staff ordering them not to cooperate with FIRCA's internal investigation pertaining to allegations of corruption. Tupo threatened them with punishment if they disobeyed. Marawa was terminated for misconduct. Both cases have been referred to FICAC for investigation. Korogora says corruption will not find a home at FIRCA and he will ensure all necessary actions are taken to protect against similar behaviour in the future. The case of trade unionist Daniel Urai and Jagath Karunaratne has been discharged by the Suva Magistrates Court. The two were charged with urging political violence in 2011. The Director of Public Prosecution's Office filed a nolle prosequi in court this morning. The court has ordered that the passports and other documents that may have been seized from Urai and Karunaratne be returned to them. A stop departure order which prevented them from leaving Fiji has also been lifted.
I'm relieved that for 4 years the government has had me on their file, and for everything that I have to do in this country, to leave for overseas seminars or attend to other union duties in the international union community, I had to keep going to court to ask for release of my passport.
In the news ahead, government to acquire more water tanks to assist families in drought-hit areas in the west.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulablaga. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics. Right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The government is pooling its resources to try and minimize the effects of the dry spell of weather on families in the Western Division. Families in mainly farming areas and the islands of the Yasawa Group have been receiving emergency water supplies from the government. Madhyam Bolaitamana has more on the story.
There are no signs of the dry conditions letting up, and the Commissioner Western Manasa Tangidakimbau says they are preparing for what lies ahead.
Water Authority is also doing water cutting, but we are also acquiring more water tanks. Once we get those water tanks, we again will position these water tanks so that people do not walk or travel long distance to the water point.
About 500,000 liters of water has been cutted to affected areas in the rural and maritime regions of the West. This has cost about $300,000.
We also understand that this cycle will continue. It will increase in intensity. We know that this dry spell will again come around either next year or the following year, and we cannot be cutting water year in and year out. It's a very, very expensive, very costly exercise. So we are looking at some permanent solution.
Apart from cutting water, government is also working on projects to permanently deal with the water problems for residents in the Western Division.
We are doing mapping, profiling, and we are looking at how best we can implement these solutions. We have done a We have done a community project using this the solution that we came up with, and it's working well.
According to the Fiji Meteorological Office, the dry spell will continue into the early months of 2016. Madium Boletamana, FBC News.
Polling for the position of General Secretary for the National Union of Hospitality, Catering and Tourism Industries elections has ended. The counting of votes is being held at the Hexagon Hotel in Nadi this evening. Veteran trade unionist Daniel Urai and Merian Ngoro, who previously worked in the tourism industry and is now self-employed, are the two candidates vying for the post. According to the Fijian Elections Office, polling was held at 11 hotels and resorts today. There are 1,984 members in the union. The European Union has welcomed Fiji's decision to abolish the death penalty through the RFMF Amendment Act of 2015. EU Ambassador to the Pacific Andrew Jacobs says this is a big step forward for the nation as we prepare to commemorate World Day Against the Death Penalty on Saturday. Akosita Tale reports.
Fiji has been praised for being the 99th country in the world to have joined the ranks to abolish the death penalty of all crimes. The EU says it's important to continue for the abolishment of death penalty worldwide as it represents an inhumane, degrading treatment.
There's no proven deterrent factor in having the death penalty, and certainly having the death penalty allows judicial errors which can no longer be corrected after the death penalty has been carried out.
Fiji's repeal of the death penalty will hopefully trigger similar positive moves in the region. The EU is calling on the remaining island countries, Tonga, Nauru and Papua New Guinea, to abolish the death penalty as well.
They are abolitionist in practice because there have been no executions for at least 10 years. And we're hoping that there will be changes in the law in order to abolish the death penalty totally.
Earlier this month, Foreign Affairs Minister Ratuinoke Kumbombola told the UN that Fiji's ban on death penalty stemmed from the growing international trend to remove capital punishment. This is consistent with Fiji's new constitution, which guarantees every person the right to life. The World Day Against Death Penalty is on the 10th of October, which falls on Saturday. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
The farming community in Vutunimba will benefit from two newly built Irish crossings. Minister for Infrastructure Pravin Bala says the two new crossings will connect people, resources and opportunities that the people of Ba must maximise on. Shriti Prasad has more.
The smiles say it all. Members of the farming community in Vutuniba are relieved. They will no longer have problems transporting their produce after the previous crossings were damaged during the recent floods.
It will definitely benefit the cane farmers and people looking around in town. Around about we have 2,000 people staying in Vutini.
First of all, I'd like to thank God giving this opportunity to this government, but Marama government, building this structure to provide transportation for the people of Vutuni.
Minister for Infrastructure Pravin Bala says the new crossings took about 9 months to build and cost $2.6 million.
Whether you live in remote villages in Vitilevu and Vanuatu or in our maritime islands, it is the intention of the Fiji Affairs government to extend to all Fijians much needed government services and access to a brighter economic future. The construction of these two new crossings connects people, resources and opportunities that we, the people of Ba, must utilize for our maximum benefit.
Bala also revealed plans to open the new $12 million Raki Raki Bridge in a few weeks' time. There are over 1,000 bridges and Irish crossings. Shriti Prasad, FBC News.
The old Nausori bus stand and adjoining taxi base has been returned to Nausori village landowners. Village Chief Komai Nausori Ratulepani Tangivakimbao says, as Indigenous owners of the land in question, they now want more control of how it will be used in future. Savaratamboa has more.
The bus stand has been empty for about 2 weeks, but Nausori village landowners have big plans for a $20 million development.
Working on survey plan with regards to the site, and from that we'll produce a concept plan, and we are hoping to put up something in around $20 million in development. That would be a one-stop shop kind of complex.
Ratulepani explains the Itauke lease expired more than 10 years ago, but the landowners decided to let the Nosori Town Council continue to use the land for a bus stand and a taxi base. However, now that it's not been used, landowners are ready to move in and develop it for income generation, possibly a supermarket and retail shops. These taxis will eventually move to the back of the new Nosori market and other locations within the town boundary.
From stand number 1 was quite low, but since there are a few other bases that we can really walk on, it's really going to be a big hit for us.
Nosori Town Council Special Administrator Zam Khan confirms they are aware of the landowners' plans for the old bus stand. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
We have sports up next. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Jackie, and good evening. In sports tonight, we'll have more from the Flying Fijians at the end of its Rugby World Cup campaign. And Rajesh Patel secures second term as Fiji FA president. This and more coming up.
छू 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 हे हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची इट्स हॉट।
The Flying Fijians World Cup campaign came to an end this morning, finishing off with 1 win from 4 games. The players were not downhearted though, as they reflected on how the side has grown over the last few months. Talendao Dakadaka has more.
Nemani Nandolo was dubbed as a player to watch out for in the World Cup, and he did not disappoint in his 3 matches out of 4 games.
You know, the effort from the boys, you know, I commend them, you know, for the efforts, and you know, we worked really hard to get here, and you know, to get a win and finish on a high, you know, that's pretty pleasing for us.
Local base prop Leroy Atalifo got his first start and says it was an honor to be part of the 2015 World Cup.
The senior boys have been really supportive. Yeah, we lost 2 of our senior players due to suspension and injury, but and I know I have big shoes to fill, so I had to step up with my game, and the boys have been really supportive of me being in the field, and I'm really glad for that.
Levani Mbotia had another standout game for Fiji and was grateful for the opportunity.
To thank the coach, thanks a lot, and also thank all of our teammates. Have hope for me. They give me a chance to prove myself for the World Cup. But I'm happy for my performance for these last 2 games.
It's the end of the road for these players, having spent a good part of the last 3 months together in camp. Talendo Takadaka, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Romania recorded its first ever victory at a Rugby World Cup, turning a 15-0 deficit against Canada into a dramatic 17-15 Pool D win. Here are the highlights.
Jones swings it wide. Hearn. Faramerva. He's in. He's done it again. Now they bring in Hassler, hitting and spinning. Hassler. Oh boy, what a try. Oh, Canada. But now they've got it well set, Romania. Over the line. Can they get it down? Try it is. Again, it's screwing around. It's picked up by the skipper. He's put on the ground by Mac, but he's scored. This kick almost certainly will decide the game. Plenty of distance, and it is over.
Rajesh Patel has retained the Fiji football presidency for a second 4-year term in office. Patel was all smiles last night following the elections in Ba. This comes after a 37-16 vote win over lone contender Shalendra Prasad. The results also ensure Patel remains as an Oceania Football Association vice president.
Our feeling is great. I was very confident from the start. Yes, the districts have supported us, and they have shown with the majority of numbers that I had to win in the first round, and that's what it went through. And the districts that didn't support us, we will still treat them equally. And
We know which the districts are. It's not that we'll victimize them, but we'll see what their problems are and try and solve it, why they would not like to support the administration.
Meanwhile, the position of national coach will be announced tomorrow. Current coach Carlos Buzzetti's term expires at the end of next month. The Nandi football side bounced back from a first-round defeat in the Courts Inter-District Championship to thrash Nreketi 5-1 this morning.
Rescues it, in comes Vilikesa, and Nandi under pressure, then Penny Sokia, and Penny Sokia has opened the account for the Nreketi side. Samuel Ndrundru comes in, places it and equalizes for the Nandi side, and Ndrundru plays a quick one through for and into Ame Vutunui, and Vutunui follows through from Bunidi. Ndrundru turns, and this time Ndrundru gets onto the score sheet. Finding Bunidi into the box, comes in with a chip kick and a header through.
All the teams are here to win, and we are here to win and take the top position in the pool A, and we'll be fielding the best of the teams, and we want to win the game.
Meanwhile, Rewa is still without a win after 2 games in the IDC. The Delta Tigers played to a 1-1 draw against Nandronga. Setereki Hughes scored an early goal for Rewa, but the Stallions replied with a goal to Laisa Ringalida. And that's it from Sports Tonight. Good evening.
Suva Private Hospital is now trying to source specialists from Australia, New Zealand and India. Executive Director Pramesh Sharma says with the ongoing challenges of recruiting and availability of specialists, Suva Private Hospital has been in discussions with tertiary care hospitals to bring capabilities to Fiji. Talks have centred around visiting specialist camps and recruitments of specialists to be available for patients. A recent trip to India evaluated what is available in India that can work in Fiji. Sharma adds no hospital has been picked since due diligence is underway to ensure best possible outcomes for healthcare in Fiji and the Pacific Rim. An 8-story hotel and commercial complex will be constructed in Suva next year. The complex is a joint venture between the Itauke Trust Fund and the Methodist Church in the Fiji Holding Trust. The joint venture, known as the Fund Trust Joint, announced the signing of the management agreement with Carlson Residor Hotel Group for a 130-room hotel at the complex. The hotel and commercial complex will be located along Stewart Street and St. Fort Street on properties currently owned by the 2 joint venture partners. The hotel will be known as the Next Gen Park Inn by Radisson Fiji Suva, and it is expected to be opened in the second quarter of 2018. Fine weather conditions were experienced over the group with brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the main islands. A trough of low pressure with associated clouds and showers affect Tuvalu and extends southeastwards over Wallis, Futuna and Samoa. Another trough affects north and southern Cooks. In temperatures, Suva and Savu were the coolest places today, hitting 27 degrees on the temperature chart. Lambasa recorded the highest temperature for the day at 31 degrees. Tomorrow, it's fine apart from brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Cool nights, rough seas. And the further outlook is for Friday. It's fine apart from brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Cool at night. And recapping our top stories, the Vodafone Flying Fijians bowed out of the 2015 Rugby World Cup with a 47-15 win over Uruguay today. SEDELPA Party caucus is understood to have endorsed Ratue Pelingani-Lau as its nominee for president when Parliament will vote for a new president on Monday. And the employment of 2 senior managers with the Fiji Revenue Customs Authority have been terminated. Our poll question for this week: be sure to visit the FBC website www.fbc.com.fj to have your say. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips. at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You can also find us on YouTube and watch all our replays via our channel Fbctv 2011. You've been watching FBC News. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good evening.